Hey guys, welcome to D Amazing's double review. Should I make that a thing? I don't know. Anyway, let's get started. Today we're going to talk about the G.I. Joe Classified Gun Ho. I'm not sure if I have the repaint version or not, and I also have the retro carded one. I've been meaning to do Gun Ho for a while. I enjoy Gun Ho as a character. My biggest issue is time be consuming me. So no, on a serious note, I've been meaning to get around to do this, but I'm really excited because I really like the retro card one. It made me really appreciate what we got in the modernized version as well, so I decided to do a double review. First off, everyone's probably done a Gun Ho review already, and I have not. So I am going to do the retro carded one because he actually comes with a lot less. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to go over the normal one. So that means if you want to skip around, you already know what you're getting into because I told you what's what. I'm actually going to put my guys here in the background. I don't know where Power Drive and Zangief is, but yeah. Here we are with these guys. Noticeable differences right out the gate outside of color is that one is very classic version, like a modernized classic version, and the other one is not. The head sculpts are also different, the hat colors, and the chest tattoos. All those things are different. So it's one of those things where and also the boots too. The boots are different too. So these are the outright things you notice. I guess we can talk about like tightness of joints and things like that, but the gears and the loadout are different as well too. So yeah. First off, here we are, our retro carded one, who I actually have technically all his accessories on already. Let me back it on up just a little bit, so you can get that irradiating view, right? So here we are with our retro carded one. We have our shorter jacket. We have our normalized backpack that really can't carry anything. I actually like the backpacks that can kind of carry everything, right? We have our sidearm. We actually have our knife too, the carrier, and we also have shotgun rounds, which I think is really cool. Or those grenade rounds. I honestly can't remember. With Gun Ho, we have our primary source being Recondo. That is what his primary thing is, while secondary is jungle warfare, which makes sense because Leteon was from Louisiana, so the accent is going to be strong, and I enjoy stuff like that. I really do. But yeah, I really like these pieces because the colorway really stands out. The brownish hat, the brownish greenish hat, stands off with the rest of the camo color. When you take it off, it is the straight up baldy, so you don't have the mohawk on top. I prefer this look. I kind of like the mean bald headed look. It kind of serves as a guy who's like, yo, life in Louisiana was really hot, and I had no reason to keep hair. And even as far as articulation goes, when you see him without the hat, it really just adds that nice mean look. Like, I really like this. Look at our articulation. We have our standard big guy body, which we've seen so far on Roadblock, and in this guy, right? So here we are looking really good. With some knife combat, we can get all posed up and look really, really nice. And sorry if I seem a little out of it. I'm trying not to knock down stuff on the side. Also, on this guy, we didn't get an update on pegs, so we still have horizontal pegs, but I don't mind that. I hope we get a hands pack. I really, really hope we get a hands pack. That'll be really dope. But the Joe's articulation has been A1. Then we pop our hat back on. We can see that super serious navy look, which I really, really like. It also gives me bare knuckle brawler vibes, and I'm 100% here for that when it comes to Gun Ho. We have our really nice modernized tattoo. It looks way bigger on this one than it does there. It's almost like this guy was like, I'm gonna go for the job but get it small, and this guy was like, I'm gonna outdo you. Articulation, we have our butterfly. Do we have butterfly? Yes, we still have butterfly joints inside, but mines are very, very tight. But as like I said, movement wise, we get so much range out of the Joe stuff. It's almost impossible to hate on it. Like, Gun Ho literally knows Gun Ho Fu. And oh, I keep knocking that down with my hand. We also have boot cut down here. We are double jointed. We have that waist rocker that goes left and right. I thoroughly enjoy that because tilting to the side, getting that waist rock about it. Look at that. Shout out to my boy Herb as well, who sent me another one. I actually had one coming, but Herb sent me one with the assurance that I would look cool doing stuff. So I just said, yeah, I definitely got you. And then we have our modernized Gun Ho, which is the first one released before our retro. We have a more tacticalized vest. We have this communicator, which we've seen throughout Joe's. This one actually shares the mohawk top and the longer version of our mustache. I'm going to call it the sailor mustache because I've actually seen a lot of sailors with that. So Jay, if you're watching, just know that you got to grow one if you can. We have our lighter hat as well. And then, again, we still get that same articulation. We're going to lose a little bit of articulation here with this piece for the elbow pad, but this is actually removable. So you can see I can just rotate that, well, slide it down. I was about to say rotate. But as you can see, I could just slide that down with no problem. Then we have our modernized, I guess is going to be a small shield or communicator, but you can swap this off and put it on the retro one as well. We have grenades now instead of shotgun or bombing shells. And again, we still get that same articulation, that same movement. So picking a gun hole to like pose up should not be an issue, because I believe these guys share. Yep. The rocker on the retro is a little better, but they still share the same articulation. Mine's just, it takes a little bit more to get the rocker out of this guy. Also because our vest is going to get in the way. But like I said, if I'm alternating and switching these sides up on these guys, look at this. This is a big dude who like can get the crouch down, get the movement. All of our articulation's the same. And like I said, this is one of those things I think that's why it's really cool. That's the important part. So you could be Billy and Jimmy Lee and you can double dragging it up. Swapping around parts, adding different things, just having a little bit of fun. These kind of things are really cool with our, when you want to get regular classified or when you want to get like a retro card. And that's what's so exciting about this line. Just like with stuff like the Valiverse, or that we're getting with Plunderlings, or we're getting with anybody who's doing like crazy stuff, like having their ideas. Mythic Legions, Savage Crucible. These are all lines that go, how can we make a line that the things can share it and be unique, but also be familiar? And I enjoy that kind of stuff. Now, as far as this guy and his accessories, the rest of his accessories include, we have our modernized backpack. And our backpack is cool because the backpack does this. You can actually store weapons on the sides. At least you could at one point. I think I've worn that piece out. No, you still can. So you can see I'm storing it here. We can store our our blaster. And then there's a storage space up top or on the bottom. No, this will be at the bottom. So you can store it across at the bottom. Like I said, I've been wearing out my pieces, so I got to be more careful. This is actually the proper way to do it. And you can store them all in one place. And I like that the classified line actually kind of aimed for that. Let me see if I can do this one right. Yeah. So your gun hole will be able to carry everything. If I ever get it right. I'm always nervous and I get those kind of things wrong. I hate when I do that on camera. I'm going to try to be better about that. And then for our retro carded one, we actually have this weapon here. Which again, this is why I was debating on whether or not it would be like an M203, like a shotgun shell, or the M203, which I believe is a small grenade. You know what I mean? So I'm unsure, but I know for a fact that someone will correct me. So please do. And then we have our strap here to kind of pull over the shoulder. It doesn't really have much movement, but I'm pretty sure going forward they'll probably try to add stuff like that. And then we also get a G.I. Joe base for our retro carded one. So again, I like that you guys have stayed through and watched this with me. Well, I kind of just talked to you, and you kind of just talk to yourself about the things you see in the video. That's kind of how it works. But yes, now we're going to jump into the size comparison. I'm going to stand those guys up, make them look cool. And I hope that you guys will enjoy the size comparison. I'll see you guys in a sec. Now we're going to jump into the size comparison. And, you know, this is where it gets fun for some people, because we mix and match lines. We talk about lines we already have. We just have a good time. So, first off, I want to compare to Classic Roadblock, because my boy is my boy, and he is the boy. Nah, you know what I mean. Point is, I love Classic Roadblock. I wanted to put him in there with that retro carded gun hole so you can kind of see what you're getting into. Let's actually slide everybody a little over. As you can see, they share similar bodies, but not the exact same body type. But again, I enjoy this line so much, none of that even matters to me. So let's move him along. Next, we're going to do a Cobra Officer. Right? So we have a Cobra Officer, much smaller, much more leaner. And you can see that Gunho is a really big dude. When you put him next to Roadblock, it looks like, oh, they're just similar size. But he's actually a bigger dude. That's pretty cool to see. Next up, you got your main man, Outback. So with Outback here, you see that Outback is on a more buffer body, but still significantly smaller than that of Gunho. Then you got people like Lady J. So with Lady J, you see she is also smaller. And then we have Crocmaster, who looks like he's on a bigger body, but Crocmaster is also a smaller dude, right? Oh man, it's so hard to see sometimes with trying to look through your camera, but also look at, what's going on in real life. Here we are with Zaymot. And then we have Storm Shadow. So again, size-wise, you can see that Gung Ho is indeed a larger dude. Next up, you're going to have Valiverse, Garrison, Infantry. Like I said, these guys look fantastic and line up really well with Joe's. That's always a plus in my book because I love mixing and matching lines. Here we are with Mezco Me. I'm on a Gomez body, and I'm still smaller than that of Gung Ho, right? Next up, we're going to do... Oh, here is Renew Your Vows Spider-Man from Marvel Legends. Here's Evil Sensei Itami from Foosh Toys Articulated Icons. Then, where to go? It's my boy, Kamen Rider Kuga. I could put him right in front because he is smaller. And you can see that he's about the same size as Lady J, right? So let's remove these guys. Then we're going to do one more, which is going to be Mythic Legions. So here we are with a Mythic Legions Deluxe Barbarian. Actually, I'm going to throw in one more because this is important to me. G.I. Joe versus Predator. I got to get that set up, get that good looking. I got to get that. I just got to find a way to make that happen. I don't know how, but I'll make it work for a photo. But yeah, so far that's what we got going on. I thoroughly have enjoyed this line. And it made me really appreciate that the differences between the Gun Hos are really, really nice. And that if I felt like mixing and matching it or having a crazy time doing those things, it could actually end up being really fun. Great example is popping the vest on this guy and then popping the head on this or swapping hats or anything like that. The point that I'm making is it's just part of the enjoyment. At least that's the way I'm going to look at it, or at least choose to look at it. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for enjoying. The ambulance is doing the ambulance thing. So please, I hope you're not on that ambulance. Or if you're watching, I hope you get better. And if you're out there just struggling, just know that that is temporary. At least that is the plan. Because we all go through it, and looking back on things, we go, haha, remember that thing I went through? It doesn't seem so big right now. Because we get better. So as always, be good, do good. Drink your water, guys. Later.